listening to Spiritual Insights with the King's Disciple, bringing to you profound biblical teachings only on the Pulse Radio, Thursday nights, 7:30 to 8. Stay tuned.
Let's go. Made it out the game by His grace, time to celebrate. Still in good shape and I got bit by a rattlesnake. God on my side so you can't be against me. On the other team so your haters can't bench me. Talk a lot of trash, but I can put it in reverse. Meaning I can bag it up where the van. Take them to church, I'm lyrically laying hands on them. Put a fan on them. That boy showing his behind. Put some pants on him.
Hello. You are tuning in to Spiritual Insights with yours truly, the King's Disciple, on the Pulse Radio. Hey, it's an honor that you're listening tonight, this Thursday night. Shouts out to the whole Pulse Radio team, DJ Dynamite, Boy Gospel, Kenneth Asbill, all the Pulse Radio leaders, as I always say, you know what I'm saying, all the sponsors, much love to you, all the artists also, all the artists that are aired on this radio, you know, awesome music, awesome talent out there, spreading the kingdom, you know what I'm saying. All the listeners, we love you so much, you know what I'm saying. We do our best, you know what I'm saying, to do shows that are, you know, prepared just for you, you know what I'm saying, so you can be edified, powerful testimonies. We got a powerful testimony, and I'm a wonderful minister in the Lord, you know what I'm saying. He has a powerful story, man, and you know, I heard his music a minute ago, you know, on Pulse Radio, and I really wanted to interview this brother, you know what I'm saying, interview him. Powerful hip-hop artist in Christ, you know what I'm saying, and what's going on, Afori? What's going on, bro?
Yeah, it's pronounced Afori.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry
cool,
about
man.
that.
It's all right. I know I got
Afori.
a difficult name.
Yeah, let's cut to the chase, bro. I want to get right to you, you know what I'm saying, to your testimony. Bro, how was it with you? Did you grow up in the church, or, you know what I'm saying? What's your story in that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've been in church my whole life. I mean, my mom, she was an avid church member. I mean, we were in church every time the doors open, basically. So,
wow.
You know, everything, we did that my whole childhood, and I mean, it carried over into my adult life. I always been involved in church. Even when I was in the streets dealing drugs, I was still going to church. My wife's mother was a minister, so I was going to church over there too, you know. That's what really got me back in church. This was while I was in the streets.
So, like, did you get, like, a conviction, you know what I'm saying, while you were doing your, you know, you were in the dope game and you're going to church? Did you get conviction, or did you ever think about, you know, I got to stop this fast life, you know? Did that ever cross your mind, you know?
Yeah, it always crossed my mind. I always wanted to get out, but I couldn't imagine it. I couldn't imagine how to get out. I couldn't imagine just walking away and going back to nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't have a job, and I didn't have any trades or skills, which means I would have been probably earning minimum wage.
Yeah.
I've been in the streets my whole life. Been in the streets since 12 years old, so it was a no-brainer for me. Like, it was right outside my door. I live in the projects, Roger Williams projects, and it was a bad neighborhood. I mean, you come outside and see blood everywhere. Come outside and see somebody's brains on the ground at any time. So always shoot out. You know, and it's right outside my door. So I would literally looking out the window, seeing these guys sell drugs and seeing guys get shot. You know, so it became the norm. Just a norm.
Wow.
I mean, to the point where you're not afraid no more.
Man, dude, whoa, that is real right there, man. Yeah, you come from a really harsh background in that aspect. Wow, man. So you're going to church. That's all you knew, pretty much. You know, it was a dope game. And so what made you, like, really make that decision? You know what I'm saying? Make that turnaround. You know, from that to really, you know, giving it your all to Christ. You know.
Well, really, it was my wife and my son. You know, while I was in prison. You know, it was the first time I was faced with that type of situation. Anytime I ever got locked up, it was only me. Wasn't nobody else really involved, you know. But this time I had a son and I had a wife that I had to leave. And when my son would come visit me, he'd be crying and hanging on to my leg when it's time to go, you know, asking why can't I come home, you know. And that bothered me, man. I mean, I used to cry like a baby, man. You know, it hurt. And I was like, man, for the first time I was able to see that something I was doing was really affecting somebody else. You know.
Wow.
You don't
wow.
really
So
think,
that
you don't really look at it that way when it's just your mom and your sisters. You know,
right.
you know it affect them, but you don't see. They don't really let you see how bad it affects them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Or you just brush it off like it's gonna be okay. I'll be home soon. Everything cool. You know, you minimize it. But with this one, I was forced. I mean, my son, he really, really went through it. He had a hard time being that I was with him every day. You know, before I went to prison, like, I mean, he didn't go to daycare. I kept him, or his mom kept him, so he was always with me. And once I was taken away, you know, that affected him in a you know, a bad way. He didn't understand why I couldn't come home. Where was I? You know.
Yeah.
So
man,
that's the main thing that really changed me. Really, it was a phone call. I talked to my wife one night, but she used to tell me that he'd be crying. So I called home, and he was asleep when I talked to him while we were on the phone.
Right.
And he woke up out of his sleep, screaming to the top of his lungs. And I was like, what's wrong? She was saying, what's wrong? What's wrong? And he started saying he was crying. And he said, I want my daddy. And it broke me down.
Wow.
You know, really listening to him scream like that, to me, it was like listening to somebody rape him, and there was nothing I could do. So I started thinking, what if that was the real situation where that was happening? It wouldn't have been nothing I could do. So that's when I started focusing on the decisions I was making, so that I could be there to protect him. You know?
Yeah. Man, wow.
That was the real turning point in me changing who I was at that point. Now, the moment when I decided to choose Christ, I mean, really wholeheartedly, and just walk away from the streets altogether, was after I came home from prison. And God used a guy named Bushwick Bill from the Ghetto Boys.
Bushwick, yeah.
Yeah, so God used him. We met at the studio, and man, it was like God just took over this guy, man. He started, God started using him to talk about things that was no way he could even know what's going on in my life at that time.
Man.
And after that, man, I was like, you know what? I'm tired, man. I'm tired of it. I wasn't, when I came back from prison, I wasn't dealing drugs, wasn't drinking, wasn't smoking, wasn't doing nothing. I was just doing music. But I was like, man, you know what, man? I'm just tired of this whole lifestyle. You know?
Yeah.
I just gave my life to God. I said, you know what? That's it, man. That's it. I can't take it no more. And from that day forward, I've been walking with God, man. I mean, it was just too much. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I've been, during this time, I'm like, I don't know what I'm holding on for. Why am I not turning to Christ now? Because I wasn't drinking, wasn't selling drugs, wasn't out there with all the women. So it wasn't no excuses this time.
Right.
And I was like, man, you know what? I'm finna just I just want to live right. For the first time in my life, I just wanted to just live right and just do the best I can, just not be involved in none of the things I used to be involved in. And that's what I did, man. It was scary, though. I was scared to death because I couldn't imagine not doing nothing.
Exactly. Like, how did you walk that out, man? How did you walk that out from, whole life? Because, since you were a kid, man, you were a young gun, all your life, that's all you knew, you know what I'm saying? How did you walk this process out,
Nah, it wasn't no simple process. I tell you that. It was like, I would always be confronted with, like, okay, if you go back to the streets, what if you die? What if you go back to jail? What if you get caught the first time?
Right.
I would always confront him with those thoughts, and then I would put it on a scale and say, this don't weigh up. It's not worth it. So I would sit back and just keep waiting, keep praying, man, and God just continued to manifest who he was and his power, because I wasn't able to pay bills at that point. Yeah. I couldn't get a job. It wasn't nothing I could do but depend on him,
Right.
So his track record with me is impeccable. I mean, every month my bill still got paid. And my rent was $1,100 at that time. He would use people that I hadn't even talked to in 15, 20 years. They just come out the blue and say, man, I just want to bless you, man.
Wow.
And I was like, I used to break down and just cry, man. Like, oh man, Lord, why you so good to me?
Man, wow.
I mean, for real, man. It was crazy at that time. I couldn't understand. The only thing I knew was like I didn't have power no more. That's the way I felt.
Right.
I felt powerless. And I've always been a guy who had the right contacts. Always could, call somebody and make things happen.
Hookups, yeah.
Yeah, I always had to hook up. And for the first time, it was like I didn't have that power.
Right.
So I didn't have any choice but to depend on them. I could have got in the streets, but I knew I didn't want what came with it.
Uh-huh.
So
wow.
And I just stuck it out, man. Just stuck it out. And like I said,
yeah.
it wasn't easy, man. But I started separating myself. I started staying home more. Because I started realizing the more I was out, the more I would want those things that I see. You see the guys in the night cars, the money and stuff. And here I am, a guy who ran through millions and millions of dollars. Now I'm back out here and I'm broke,
Right.
I was broke and I'm like, man, I can get this. I can make one call and I have all this stuff again. But I was like, man, the stuff don't matter.
Right, man.
For the first time in my life, none of the stuff mattered. All I wanted was to be with my family,
Yeah. Wow. So
and
you went through that.
For the first time, I want my mama to see me do right for once in my life. Ever since, like I said, I shot for the first time I was 13. By the time I turned 18, I had been shot 5 different times.
What?
Everybody had insurance on me, man. Everybody. It wasn't good for me, man. So everybody would put insurance on me. They're like, man, this boy probably gonna be dead before he turned 16.
Man.
So I mean, we'll be here a whole day by the time I finish telling you.
Yeah, I know that. Wow, so God protected you, man.
Yeah. Like I broke in the store when I was 16. I went to what we call state school. It's like a prison for teenagers. And we broke in a department store. It was Gafers back then. And I was drunk. I was drinking Cisco, me and my friends. I'm drunk out of my mind. And some kind of way, I ended up in the ceiling. When the police came, I was running. We were running back and forth around the store. The ceiling. And I tried to walk across the little ledge in the ceiling and fell through. And I missed the case just by a little bit, man. I mean, hit the ground. It was a miracle that I was alive. I cut my ear off, though. My ear was cut off. Yeah.
Wow.
Man, I'm telling you, like, he definitely had his hands on me. I totaled out 2 cars. First car flipped over 4 times.
Oh, my
Second
gosh.
car, when I was on house arrest waiting to go to prison, I flipped over my car. I had a Lexus. Flipped it over, man. I mean, didn't have no seatbelt on, and everything was out of the car except me.
Oh, my gosh, dude. Wow.
Man.
Wow. Yo, God. That's one thing that I perceived from your testimony, just through your music, man. When I heard your music, I was like, who is this guy? Afori, you know what I'm saying? And I was starting investigating you, seeing your music, your videos, and I was like, this guy got a powerful testimony. And just by hearing your voice, you know what I'm saying? The Spirit of God gives testimony that, when you hear someone, it's like, there's a lot more, you know what I'm saying, to this brother. And that's exactly why I want to interview you, man. Real quick, man, I want to go back a little bit. Like, Bushwick Bill, man, brother Bushwick Bill. I also, a couple years ago, I saw that he got saved, and I tried following. I've been following him.
Yeah.
So did you meet him at a church or where? On the streets? Oh, you said in the studio, right?
Yeah, actually, I was getting ready to go to Panama City to promote my music. And they called me over at the studio. It's like, yo, Bushwick Bill wanted to come. He wanted to meet you,
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I'm going to stop through there. But it was it started raining a little bit. It was just drizzling a little bit. I'm like, man, we'll catch him later. I'm finna go ahead and we're going to head up the road to Panama City. But they called again. He was on the phone. He was like, yo, what's up, man? I thought you were going to come and see me. So I said, all right, I'm on my way, man. So we go ahead and stop by there. And once I got there, we were just sitting up talking about music and stuff like that. Right. Then all of a sudden, he told me, I'll never forget. He said, man, I don't know why God is telling me to tell you this, but God said, even if it takes temporary paralysis For you to do what he called you to do, then
wow.
He said, if you don't, what's sweet to the tongue is gonna be sour to the stomach. And I was like,
man.
what? I'm looking at him. I'm like, what? He was like, man, I've been wrestling with this for a minute. He said, but I got to tell you what God told me to tell you, man. You know, and during this time, I had just left New York talking to Sony and Def Jam, so I was dealing with Sway. I was about to get a record deal, so I'm like, Lord, you gonna call me now? Why you gonna call me now?
Wow,
you know,
man,
like this I've been waiting on my whole career. Everything was just going great, man. Then all of a sudden that night came, and God robbed me. I mean, he robbed me of every excuse that I'd used previous, you know, of why I won't change. Because I didn't know how. I wanted to. I always wanted to, but I didn't know how.
Right.
And God used Bushwick Bill to give me the answer, and the answer was, you choose.
Right.
And those two words just made all of the sense. It was like, you can get up and walk out of this room, or you can sit here in this chair. It's the same thing. You can choose to go and start doing the right things, or you can continue living the way you've been living. And before I left, I remember hearing God say, if you choose the world, I'm going to let the world have you. Wow. And I knew what that meant. It was something in my spirit that let me know that if I chose not to go with God that day, that it wouldn't have been even 2 weeks that I'd have been dead.
Man.
I know I can't prove that, but I know it was something in my spirit that let me know that if I chose to go that way again, that was it. Because God had always sent prophets and preachers my whole life to tell me, you know, I was going to be a preacher, and God had his hands on me, all this stuff, just out of the blue. I'd be high out of my mind, and I'm like, man, why these people keep telling me this? But I knew it since I was a child, you know, so that was the thing that was letting me know that God was real. It's because I wouldn't even tell people about that.
Man.
But then there was times where I'd be high, we'd be snorting powder, and I'd be in there praying with these guys in the car.
Whoa, man.
You know, I mean, I always knew it was going to happen, but I thought it was going to be one of those moments where, like, you see them come through the ceiling.
An angel come in.
It's going to be some of those moments. I never would have thought that he'd use a guy that I looked up to. Like, I mean, we used to listen to his music while we were out committing crimes.
Yeah, exactly, man.
You know, and I'm like, man.
That's powerful, man.
I said, you know what? I just said, I give. And I said, you know what? He told me, he said, you have the ability to give an effort. To just do an effort to do right. To go in a different direction. And I said, man, I was sitting up like, where do I even start?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm saying. I'm like, and guess what? I got it on film. I got it on. One of my friends started taping it because they could see something was happening right then. So one of my friends, the guy who was going to Panama City with me. He was my hype man.
Yeah.
And he started filming. So I actually got about 4 or 5 minutes of footage with me and Bushwill that night, the night I decided to give my life to God. Where I was sitting there telling him, I'm like, I don't know how. This is what I'm telling them. So I'm going to release it on my documentary. It's coming out soon, you know, but just like, what are the odds of you being able to capture that moment, the day you actually, you know, the day you said you wanted to that you changed your life and got saved.
Exactly.
And chose God. He really, really chose God. You know, so I think none of it was by coincidence that God chose him at that very moment, and for me to be able to have it on film.
Exactly,
So you can see me. You see the way I look and the way I was talking at that time, you know?
Right.
And to see where I was then and where I am now, you'll definitely be able to see the difference.
How long ago was that, bro?
Let me see. That was 2010, I think. Yeah, 2010.
Oh. Wow. Yeah. Okay, so you got a documentary coming out soon that talks about these things, right?
Yeah, like it's so much people don't know. They just knew me from the music, you know what I'm saying? But they don't know like I was a guy who had low self-esteem and was very insecure, used to get teased a lot. And that's when I started becoming more violent and things like that. You know, they didn't know that. A lot of people don't even know I've been shot 5 times. But 3 times I shot myself 3 times.
Wow. Man,
3 different times. Playing guns, I was infatuated with guns. Always did love guns.
Yeah.
So the first I got a chance to get my hands on one, it was all she wrote. And like I said, I shot myself for the first time. I was 13 years old, so that lets you know just how early on it started.
Yeah. Wow, man. So
the last time I got shot was with a 45. I was playing with a gun, shot myself right here in the chin with a 45.
Oh my gosh, dude.
I hit it at my temple. And it was like something, man, I'm telling you, it was like the spirit just, man, I'm telling you, it was like the spirit just came and just pulled that gun. Because I was getting ready to squeeze the trigger. I had taken the clip.
Oh, man.
And I was like, man, I was playing with my girlfriend with it at the time. And she was like, quit playing with me with that gun. I said, girl, quit playing. Ain't nothing up here. I took the clip out, you'll scare yourself. And I put it to my head. And I was it at my brain, you know, right on the side of my temple. And I stuck it up under my throat. And I pulled the trigger, and it went off. And when I heard that, I thought it was all over. I was like, man, I'd have messed around and killed myself.
Wow.
You can touch the bone or nothing, man. It wasn't nothing but God, man. Like the gun kicked back in the opposite direction. Like
okay.
Kicked back. I had the gun like this, and it kicked forward.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of it kicking back like that way, it kicked forward.
Yeah.
Just bust open my chin. I mean, it was bust open. It was spreading about this wide.
Oh, man.
Back together. But I'm just thinking, I'm like, it's a miracle that it didn't hit the bone. Had it hit the bone, it probably tore my whole face up.
Man.
So, like, I didn't look at it like that then, but now I look back. And I'm like, man, you know what, man, that was a miracle.
Exactly. Man, so your documentary is going to cover those things, right? Like about, you know, the whole process of your life, the things you've been through, right? And how where God brought you out of, right?
Yeah. It's going to tell, like, I'm telling everything, like, it's going to be so much, like, the meat of everything about this. I'm going to go into detail about the wrecks and everything, you know?
Are you going to be the narrator?
Huh?
Are you going to narrate it, or?
I think I'm going to use somebody else to narrate.
Oh, all right. All right, cool.
I don't think it'll be fun to hear me talking and then, you know what I'm saying? I think
yeah, all right.
So I got a guy in mind that I'm gonna get to narrate it.
All right, bro. So when do you think it's gonna come out? Around 2016, early 2016?
Definitely 2016. I started on it. A lot of times I get sidetracked. Like I'm working on my book, autobiography. Then I together, you know. So it's just I get sidetracked. I start working on it, then I forget about it. Working on another idea business wise. So. And then I'm just gotta just lay down and just focus.
Right.
I started it. I'm gonna go ahead and finish. It will be out 2016. So.
All right, keep a lookout. All you listeners, keep a lookout for Brother Afori's documentary. Also a book, right? Also 2016 or later on in the year?
Yeah, the same year. It's gonna be 2016. I'm gonna release the book and the documentary. And I'll be releasing new music, too, with it, so.
Awesome. Yeah, about your album, man.
Put the movie together. I want to put the movie together this year as well, so hopefully I can do all of it in 2016 and release all of it. Because it's going to I'm going to do the documentary. Then the documentary is going to lead up to the book. Then the book will lead up to the movie. So that's the plan.
Okay. Yeah, man. Awesome. Listeners, be ready for Afori's projects, man. They're going to be powerful, edifying. We're going to keep an eye out on that, brother.
Yeah, man. It's going to be entertaining, man. Y'all going to be like, woo. When you really get to what was going on, man, I mean, I was crazy. Like, I had really just given up on life. I had given up on life. I didn't care if I lived or died, man. It just was what it was, you know?
On one of your projects, I remember watching on YouTube a while before, one of your projects in the world, when you were in the world still, I just saw it in that photo, man. There's a photo on one of your albums, I think. It's when you have your arms on your head, your hands on your head, like all stressed out, man. That expressed it, man, what you were feeling, you know what I'm saying, what you're going through.
if you go to my first, that's the first album cover. That's my first album, The Golden Child. And what was happening in there, like, the concept of it was, I got an angel on my shoulder talking to me, got the devil on his other shoulder. I got a baby mama who out here taking all my money, got my baby in the pride, just looking all trifling. Then I got, you see the candy cars, those were real cars, the cars we were driving at that time. So you see the candy apple cars, so it let you know that we were in the streets, and it was like all of it together just drove me crazy to now I'm C-Nile. That was the concept. So, I mean, it was spiritual from day one to let you know that I was battling them just by putting the angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other.
Exactly, yeah.
Every album, even during that time, every album I always did a song that referenced God because that what was really in me, but I was afraid to really just come all the way out. And then I was always like, man, I'm not going to play with God. Right. You know, when I change, I'm going to be through with it. Other than that, you know, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. Like, I prayed to him, and I was like, listen, you know, Lord, when you ready, I'm ready, man. You change me because I can't do it. Man. I couldn't imagine not being drunk, not selling drugs, not messing with all the women. You know, I couldn't imagine living life without that stuff. It's like, what I have to look forward to? I thought life would be so boring.
Right.
Yeah, so, I mean, just the thought of living life sober made me drink more. Like, what? Man. You know? I almost OD'd twice. Excuse me. I almost OD'd twice on cocaine. I was snorting cocaine every day. I used to sell it, so I mean, I had unlimited supply of it. I get high as I want to get.
Yeah, we saw that on your video. That's where I got a snippet of your testimony also. One of your videos. What was it called? I Surrender?
Oh, yeah. I surrender.
Yeah, I saw that you were sniffing there. Yeah. And I was thinking, he came from that background right there, man. Wow.
That was my main thing. Like, when I got on that coke, I was like, this is my baby. You know, because I was an introvert. I really wouldn't open up and talk to people. And when I got high, I would open up and express how I really... Like, that was the way... That's how I started praying with these other guys. Now, these are some real gangsters that I'm sitting here praying with. You know, we getting high. Man. And you never would think that either one of us was in the car talking about God.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you really, like, we never, you know, a lot of the guys in the streets, they never show how they really are. You just see the exterior.
Exactly, yeah.
I never would have thought these guys had any relationship with God, but I couldn't hold it back at the time. You know, when I got high, I would start talking about God. And they would start telling me things about God and knew more scriptures and things than me. I was like, you know what I'm saying?
So just by what you say right there, that there are more Aforis out there, you know what I'm saying? People with your background that have also grown up in the church, you know what I'm saying? That need to be rescued, huh?
Yeah, a lot of people, a lot of them just don't know how to change. It's like, what?
Right.
You know, I mean, you have to be able to give somebody that answer in order for them to do it.
Right.
And the way I describe it is, it's like if you used to traveling down Airport Boulevard to go home every day, that's how you've been traveling home every day.
Right.
Up until this moment, then start going down the back street. Take a different street, which means don't go the same places you used to go. You know.
Yeah.
Just change all of it. And I started there. I knew I had to spend more time at home than in the street. Because the more I was out there, the more that desire would come back. I wanted to get that money. You know, like a lot of those guys out there, man, they don't want to be out there. They're not guys who just want to hurt people. You know, the perception of a drug dealer is this monster. You know, these guys be at all of their kids' events. They just wanted to get money. It's like that's the only opportunity they felt like they had.
Right.
So they take the risk. Just like I did. I didn't want to hurt nobody, man. I wanted to have fun, and I wanted to get money, and I wanted to get out of that environment.
Right.
Whatever chance I need to take to do it. But in the middle of it, sometimes you get confronted with situations where, you know, your life is on the line. I mean, like, it's really real. Yeah. And people have to know that they kind of have to know that you're capable. In order to keep these guys off your back, they have to kind of know that you're capable of doing something to them if they do something to you, you know?
Right, so, man. Wow. Real quick, brother Afori. Time is up, bro. I can't believe how fast this time went by, man. Before we go, man, I just want to say one more time to all the listeners, keep an eye out on his documentary, Afori's documentary movie, his projects, his book, you know what I'm saying, 2016. Brother Afori, any last words before we finish the interview?
Nah, man, I just want to thank you for having me on here. Plus, I mean, just want to say to whoever's out there listening, man, if you haven't made that choice, man, make the choice to go ahead and choose life, man. Ain't nothing out there in them streets. You know, we see it every day. These people getting killed and going to jail. Those are the only two things that can happen. I got so many friends that are paralyzed, so many friends are dead, so many in prison with life without for murder. You know, and God spared me, so man, I hope you make the right decision to choose life. Choose God.
That's right. Brother Afori, Spiritual Insights of Pulse Radio. We out. Peace. Much love.
Used to pray all the time, but I don't know what has gotten into me. Treat you like I hate you, but love you with every inch of me. Thank you for protecting me when I was selling birds. Spend more time on the internet than I do in your word. Regardless of what, this time I'm sticking to the plan. Your love like Dr. Handwriting, hard to understand. Devil keep calling, but I'm cutting off my ringer. Usually I come complaining, but today I wanna thank you.